Sunrise Extra on a Monday. Chris McGinnis joining us this week, filling in for Rod. It's his first time back in the building since we figured March 19th of last year. Back in the building.
No, I have been in the building a couple times to exchange equipment, and I actually, as I remember now, this is way.
But did they let you in the newsroom on those days?
No, I was in the newsroom one Saturday night to do weather because I had to be back in like last May.
Okay.
But that was it. And there wasn't really anybody else here anyway. So yeah, this is the first time that I've been face to face with you guys in this seat, since March of last year.
Cool.
It's really
getting back to normal.
Well, it's and you're so used to when you're dialed in on your job. I mean, you don't have to think about anything, right? And like this morning, I'm having to think about everything. Like where's that? Like
door code.
So I'm glad my card still works because after a while they get and that wasn't a joke about like do I still work here, but like after a while the cards stop working and so
it was weird the first day we came back into the studio. I don't know how it was for you. Probably didn't matter. You were a professional. But to me, just changing up where we weren't dedicated to our own cameras, and we had to be next to each other and do all the. We're looking at each other again.
But it's like kind of riding a bike. It all comes back.
I've never rode that bike that well to begin with.
So you guys today, if you didn't see, I don't know what they kind of wrote on the top of this thing that you clicked on.
What's our topic today?
But we are just throwing it out there. You guys tell us the direction you want to take the show. Reddit calls it AMA, Ask Me Anything.
Oh,
I'm kind of afraid to.
So what do we monitor here so that we get our comments?
I go to the Facebook page typically. Nina's usually on the YouTube page or both.
I got the YouTube page.
But if you go to the KGW, I think we tend to get more responses, Chris, on the KGW page. So if you want to go there, you can help.
I will do that.
Go through some comments with me,
so I can follow along with you and hopefully answer in almost real time as opposed to like the 30-second delayed real time of being.
Yeah.
Wasn't that fun?
No. That was some
epically bad television that we were trying to do, but we tried.
I mean, honestly, what I heard on Friday morning in our post-show meeting that we do every day at 7:45, I heard, Chris is filling in for Rod next week, but Chris will be doing that from home. And I thought, man, why can't we get him into the building? And then about 2 hours later, I heard Chris is going to be in the building.
Your wish was delivered.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, he's back. So
we got our first question, you guys.
All right.
Ask us anything. Brian, Rock Rail Fan on YouTube. Good morning to you. He's one of our regulars. He has a weather question, Chris.
Okay.
Could Washington and Oregon catch up on rainfall this summer and, with this past weekend storm?
We are so far off the mark, and even if we had a really wet summer, our summer normals are like 0.6 or 0.5 inches in July.
Let's say we doubled that, for example.
Even if we doubled it, we're 6 or 7 inches in. You're talking water year. We're like 7 inches in the hole. So this will be actually. What's remarkable about this? This will be the fourth straight water year that Portland will be below average.
The water year goes from when to when again?
October 1st to
12 months later?
It's basically October to October. October 1st to September 30th.
Oh, okay.
So the short answer to your question is no. Does that mean we're going to have a dry summer? Actually, once we get past the next 3 days, the outlook for the rest of June is like
Dry,
and warm. So, yeah.
Well, when's the last time you looked at the calendar and said and saw the wettest day of, I'll say, April, May, and June actually fell in June, right? That's yesterday's rainfall day was the wettest day we had in April, May, or June.
Since February 12th. And remember that February 12th was the liquid equivalent of 6+ inches of snow and ice, right? We got 79/100ths of an inch of liquid on February 12th. We haven't been anywhere near that since, so 68/100ths yesterday. And it was exactly the kind of rain that we needed because, you don't necessarily want to get just a heavy downpour that all washes off into the gutters. That was a nice, long, slow soaking rain. Your lawn appreciated it. The trees appreciated it. The forests appreciated it. And if anything, even though we have hot, dry weather in the forecast, something like this could help delay the start of fire season on the west slopes of the Cascades by a week or two,
I do want to remind our viewers what we're doing here as a topic this morning because
it's our first. It's our first.
We've never done it before on Sunrise Extra. 2 years plus of this show, mainly because the three of us got together and said, what do we want to talk about? I don't know.
There wasn't anything like that really stuck out that was, we were going to be able to wax poetic on. So we want you guys to steer the direction of the show. And somebody wants to know how much you can bench, Drew.
Is that the guy that does all
That's
the push-ups?
Willie. That's
it's Willie Huey. Willie Huey. I can't even tell you the last time I laid down on a bench.
We got hey, let's go downstairs right now. Let's go do it. Come on.
In there,
Nina, you drive the show. Drew and I will run down and we'll Facebook Live it. Here's how much Drew can bench.
I'm not as excited about that as you are.
I am not either because I used to be fit and now I'm not. So.
Oh, gosh. Sheila Speck, was anyone stuck out in the rain yesterday? We drove back from the coast in the rain, and it was a soggy one, but I wasn't stuck out in it. Renee Robertson says, is it hard for you guys to sleep in on the weekends after getting up so early during the week?
Yeah, I had a terrible night's sleep.
In, like sleeping in for me would be like 7 or 7:30, and
sleeping in would be any parent.
Do you wake up early though on weekends?
We do not wake up early. Our children wake us up.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like sleeping in would be like 7 or 7:30.
How late does your little one sleep?
She'll sleep till like 6:30 or something, and then come in and start bugging.
That's
go back to your room.
if we get to 7 o'clock ever, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
And now lately, the older one of the two, Patrick, he's now 4. It is a fight to the death. I mean, to the absolute bitter end to get him to go to bed.
Okay. What time are you trying to do it?
It's so hard.
We typically would start around like 6:30, 7, and somehow that just, after the time change, that inched things up a little bit. There were a couple of nights last week and the week before that I don't think he was asleep before 9.
Right.
Yeah. We just had to move bedtime back because
I think
they're getting older, and she goes to bed at like 8:30 now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that.
And so it's just kind of one of those changes. But yes, it's hard to stay up late, I would say.
Yeah.
It's hard to like hang out on the weekends with people and
10
stay
o'clock,
up late.
you are especially if you have like
8 p.m.
1
I'm
glass
like
of wine or something. You're like.
I was on our couch Friday afternoon at watching a basketball game that started at 4:30. I was absolutely passed out by about 4:50. And
a little nap.
Yeah, took a little. Actually, it was about a 2.5 hour nap. I mean, I almost didn't get up until 7.
And you're all groggy, right?
No, I guess for a moment. But I always argue with people who say, "Oh, I don't want to take a nap. I feel tired afterwards." Well, of course, when you first wake up, you feel tired. You just woke up. But it definitely benefits you. Like I was able to actually watch a movie Friday night after that.
Nice.
Stay up and watch a movie.
Yeah.
But Saturday night into Sunday, my kid, one of them, convinced me to sleep with him. Hey, Dad,
in his room?
Yeah, let's have a sleepover. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you and me sleeping in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, that's going to be terrible. The bed's not big enough. The pillow's not.
On the floor?
No, I slept in his bed.
Yeah.
His bed is big enough for the two of us, but not as big as I want it to be. I want to sprawl.
Were you like on one hand like that's really sweet, and then on the other hand you're like this?
No, my wife on one hand said that's really sweet. You should do that. I was on this hand saying I just want to be in my. I get 2 good nights sleep each week.
I get it.
And Friday was okay, but I really wanted to double down and get a good one Saturday. It was terrible. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was downstairs and he'll say, "I really want to see you here in the morning." Like I mentioned.
Yeah, Patrick just started that. Yeah, Patrick just started that. He says, "I want you to be here when I wake up."
You're not just falling asleep with me, Dad. You're spending the
whole night in this little twin-sized bed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're getting all kinds of questions now. Matt Badu, what do you think of the violence escalation in our area? I think it's terrible. I'm just now kind of starting to come out. The weather is improving. The city has calmed down in terms of protests and all that kind of stuff. We're starting to see some movement on helping this homeless situation from continuing to spiral, even worse. So I'm hopeful, but
That was Matt Boudreau who said that? Matt also chimed in with this pet peeve, staring at your phone.
That's how we're seeing your comments.
Yeah.
That's how we can see it. I got YouTube here. That's how we're seeing your comments.
It's not scrolling across the prompter, Matt.
That's how we're seeing
Since he's got pet peeves, maybe he's got a traffic one for me. Maybe he's got a good driving me crazy topic. Which can I unveil? We are considering a new name for the driving me crazy feature, and so I would love some help with that if somebody's got a topic. One of the ones that I'm kind of key on right now is grinding my gears because it sounds like it's traffic-y.
I like that one.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that, but I don't know, and I'm just throwing this out there. I haven't actually talked officially with our managers yet, but love the topic. It stays because everybody's got something to say. So if you have
a name for
You
driving.
got a name for driving me crazy?
Yeah.
I want to know, but I think we're leaning towards that.
Well, we're open to suggestions. Is the bottom line. I'm sure if you watch this show, you're familiar with this series that Chris has done for a couple of years now, Driving Me Crazy. Again, he needs a new name for the series. We want to change it up, and I guarantee you, by the end of this, we're going to have at least a dozen ideas. Chris,
I love it.
for
I
your
love it.
segment.
This is the best thing. And we put out the email to everybody in the newsroom, and I've got lots of great suggestions. So I want to make sure I give kudos to all of our staff also that had some ideas. But love to hear a viewer idea too. Kate is asking, what year did you graduate high school, and what was your mascot? Okay, do we want to go down the line?
Sure. Class of 1992. I grew up in Philadelphia. I went to Monsignor Bonner High School. It was a Catholic high school, and we were the Friars.
The Friars.
The Friars.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Bonner Friars.
Okay.
Imagine
All right.
with a school named Bonner.
Monsignor.
Bonner, the kind of jokes other schools
Yes.
would apply to.
I knew those
that's
jokes.
unfortunate.
Being a fellow Southeastern Pennsylvania graduate, but I'll let Nina go next.
98 from Jesuit here in Portland. We are the Crusaders, and they're debating whether that name should continue right now. So we'll see.
We, what year did I graduate? 96, Abington High School, which is a suburb of Philadelphia.
Yep.
We were the Galloping Ghosts. Greg Grange, the Galloping Ghosts. I will say, and I haven't followed up on this a whole lot, but our mascot was a ghost.
That is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
In a sheet but holding a football, and it was Greg Grange, the Galloping Ghost, who was a famous football player way back in the 40s, 50s.
What is the history behind the ghost part?
So I need to look that up, but that's kind of interesting.
It's like a headless horseman.
So that was our mascot. Anyway, so I hope we answered the questions there.
Real quickly though,
Sidewinder.
Abington High, was that part of? Was that in the same division as Lower Merion, which was Kobe Bryant's high school?
No, I did see Kobe Bryant play basketball. Because
he was class of 96 too, wasn't he?
He was 95 or so. I can't recall now.
I thought he was 96.
I think
but
he might have been
regardless,
96.
you saw him play.
Yeah, and it was just so
different.
No, they were
different
they
class.
were different. That was Delaware County. This is Montgomery County. We're breaking into the townships.
Counties of Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. There's another thing that folks in the West Coast are like, what's a township?
Yeah.
Everything back east is townships. Everything in the Northeast. Here we don't have that. So.
Connie Staub Miller, Nina, what's your favorite restaurant in Bend?
Yep.
I like Spork. El Sancho Tacos, 10 Barrels, great. You just went there a couple weeks ago. Somebody else was asking when I mentioned the coast. Christy Shirk, when you go to the coast, where do you go?
Oh.
We love Cannon Beach. We go to Pacific City a lot. That's where we just were. And I love Newport too. And I don't even go to the beach most times when I go.
I love I've only
tons of
been
stuff
to Nye Beach a couple of times, but I love Nye Beach. That's a
the sea
fun little
lions.
area.
They just redid the Ripley's, believe it or not, and the Wax Museum.
Okay.
Those are all they were the same
from
the 80s when I went there. Liza
We're
Minnelli was a wax.
So taking the kid in
Michael
there.
Who are
Jackson
these
was
people?
black the last time I went into the Wax Museum.
How about the? That's okay. We'll rush right through that.
I think
we'll
that was
rush
a Dave
right through
Chappelle
that.
joke, maybe.
What's the beach that basically because Tillamook is not actually on the ocean, right? Tillamook is pretty much on the highway.
Garibaldi on the north end.
No, but if you drive through
Three Capes.
if you drive through, there's a beach at the if you go just due west of Tillamook, just head towards the ocean, you end up at a beach that has the big cave that you walk through to go from one side of the beach to the other.
Is that Hug Point? No, that's
our viewers will tell us.
Yeah,
the bottom line is, so you guys probably know what I'm talking about. There's a beach down there near Tillamook that has a big rock structure that separates one side of the beach from the other, and you can actually walk through. Someone blew a hole through the rock structure.
Yeah, gosh, we just did a story on this.
Yes,
because there was a fall there.
A fall?
Yeah, wasn't there a fall there?
I thought someone may have gotten I thought there was a flood. There was a flooding. Yeah, thank you, Brian Folsom, one of our producers. There was a flooding situation and people got trapped.
That's what it was.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Oceanside, thank you. I knew that would come through.
Oceanside.
Yep.
Christy, I looked
Mears.
up Beach Walk and it wasn't right where we were. You needed to, drive the car like a few minutes. But we're going back soon, so I want to go there for a sandwich because I did remember what you said. Matt Badeau said, "This is awesome, not because you read my question, but we get to know what you're thinking about." Thank you. Thanks, Matt. This was a totally spur of the moment idea.
Jennifer Taft weighing in. I'm asking about my dog. How old is Blaze? Blaze is, I say 3.5. He'll be 4 in October. Then she asks, Nina, if you have any pets.
Not at the moment.
And then for all of us, I guess, what would be your dream pet if you could have one?
A French bulldog that still looks good when it's super old.
Frenchie. Blaze is my dream pet. Honestly, like this dog has been amazing. I was a semi-dog person before we got Blaze. I've had dogs in the past. I've always felt like dogs are your pet.
Yeah.
They're not really part of the family. They're your pet. There's a difference. Blaze has somehow crossed over, and he has become part of the family.
Dogs are definitely part of the family. We would like to get another dog at some point. We lost our little Rufus after
really?
Catherine had him long before she met me, and so we had to we had to let him go 2 years ago. So we are.
But you got 2 kids.
We don't. And so, but we would love to get a dog. We would really, really love to get a dog. I think just right now we're still potty training one and about to start potty training another, and I don't think we're looking forward to trying to potty train a third.
We had a dog when our kids were born. We had a dog who was 2 years old at the time, and obviously that dog grew up with the boys, and it was not a great experience. The dog was not into the kids. The kids could care less about I'm talking about 2, 3, 4-year-old twins. They could care less about the dog. The dog was very needy. And eventually that dog wound up retiring, I'll say, with my mother-in-law.
Okay.
It was just a bad situation in our house with that dog. It just wasn't, we were not meshing as a fivesome. But Blaze, like I said, like this, it's all about the right dog for the right family at the right time. Blaze is like, the kids are way into Blaze. The dog is way into the kids and my wife and I. So it has worked out beautifully for round 2.
Yeah, that's awesome. What else we got?
Lots of questions, actually. I just went through.
Oh, Jennifer Taft says, Chris, I love when you're at home and we hear your kids.
Let me just tell you, Jennifer, how stressful that has been at times with having Patrick going through, especially through the construction phase, and then when we got the sheetrock up and the walls painted, and the next thing you know,
do you guys remember that?
He's
we started
banging on the walls.
Like just studs on the walls.
Yeah, and remember that I was doing weather like weekends, weekend evenings, weekend mornings. I was doing 3 shifts a weekend, so it was like trying to keep them quiet in the morning and then trying to keep them quiet in the afternoon. And my poor wife, I mean,
it's like running interference.
I mean, this was that was a pretty stressful time for her. So yeah,
she's glad you're.
And I will probably still be back there on. I don't know if this is this. I think this is just a little temporary. Slide. And,
sorry, you're here to stay.
Well, I'll take that. You go have a talk with the boss, and I'll be happy to stay here.
Once you're here, you're here. Once you're in, you're in.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
I have a couple of quick ones. Howard Wright, who I know watches our show just about every single day, so thank you for doing that, Howard Wright. The simple question here is, when I showed up at KGW, how long ago was that? 2006 is when I got here. I didn't actually hit the air until February of 2007. So kind of a double answer to that question. Another question, unless you have one for you, I have one for Chris.
Okay.
Chris, this comes from Robert Jackson, and someone else said, hey, that's a good question.
Okay.
Chris, do you think we're going to have a hot summer this year? What do you know for the future outlook?
You define hot.
Hotter than we normally see. Because actually, our average temperature, I was surprised to see this. Our average temperature, unless I'm wrong, Chris, in the months of July and August, is just 80 degrees.
1 degrees. Yeah.
81 degrees.
So
hotter than that.
And remember, the new 30-year climate normals just got adjusted, so we moved up a decade. And I was actually surprised that our number of 90-degree days has only gone up by a half. So 12.5 is still considered the average number of 90-degree days, and you know that in the last decade we've blown that figure out of water, what, 5-6 times? I mean, we're already sitting at 2 90-degree days. We've got 1, 2, maybe 3 in the forecast. I think 90-degree days, I think 20 is a good number. I think Rod put that out there a couple, maybe last week. Sounds like a pretty believable number. Oh, we're going to the 7-day. There you go.
We've this far into the future.
We've moved Thursday, Friday around a little bit, but Friday could very easily be 90. Sunday and Monday of next week look like 90-degree days, and looks like we're getting back into some summer-like warmth. I'm tap dancing a little bit because I didn't necessarily put my personal summer outlook together. But I would be inclined to believe 20 90-degree days is a pretty good number.
Well, then I'll tell you.
That will get a hot summer.
As far as summer outlooks go, Kate says, where are Rod and Brenda? Brenda off just today. She'll be back tomorrow. Rod off all week for a vacation. But Rod did do this whole summer outlook deal. That
Oh,
he
yeah.
went over,
I think that's where I heard
early
the
last
20.
week.
Yeah.
So if you go to KGW Rod Hill's Facebook page, you can check out Rod's summer outlook for whoever was wondering what kind of summer will we have.
People wondering what kind of dog is Blaze. Wiesla.
I say Vizsla. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
I always heard it as Wiesla.
Really?
Yeah,
there
we
is a
had some
Z
friends-
in the name, but the people, the
Wiesla.
breeder that we got it from said Vizsla.
Well, I would probably take the breeder's word for it, right?
Unless I'm misremembering how the breeder said
Or maybe you were listening with an accent. That's my stepfather used to say that.
Vizsla.
Stop listening with an accent.
Kate Heisman, this is a very specific question. If you could spend a moment with anyone, living or dead, famous or not.
Dear Lord.
Ooh, that's actually a great full-blown Sunrise Extra
Sheesh.
topic. If you could spend, well, how did you
My
phrase it?
family.
Spend a moment
A moment?
with anyone.
Spend a moment with anyone, living or dead, famous or not famous, anyone who?
Rocky.
No, not necessarily. I gotta
President
think.
I mean, it's a fictional character, right? Like,
Sylvester
Sly.
Stallone on the
Stallone,
making.
yeah.
you'd probably tower over him, Drew. But
What? Is he short?
Rocky's a short guy.
Oh. I don't know. I'm going to
long
go
time.
Anthony Bourdain again.
You know,
I wanted his job last week. I'll have a meal of spicy noodles with him and a cold beer.
for a long time, as like a young man, I was bothered by the O.J. Simpson deal. I followed that trial.
So you want to ask the man?
That was a
himself.
wild, my goodness.
And
that
it
was,
bothered me. Like, I wanted closure to that event. I never felt like
All
there
of
was
us.
closure. And everyone go, some say he was found innocent of the criminal trial. Others will say, what are you talking about? He was guilty. The fact is, I wanted to hear that man just
Well, then who
say,
did it? Yeah.
Yeah, say what happened, pin him down, throw some truth elixir into O.J. Simpson, and maybe the truth is, he didn't do it. But I want to hear the truth from that guy. I want to pin him down, throw some truth serum in him, and find out what happened that night.
I don't
believe what I've heard to this
I
point.
don't even recall. Was he on the stand? Like, did he ever testify in his own defense?
Well, he wore the gloves. Yeah.
That's right. So, I mean, well, then he spoke.
Well,
And he was asked. And this is our system. And the system said no.
There's a lot of things that were said during the course of that trial, sure. I want more from OJ. I want more time one-on-one with OJ. Because that is there's been many tragedies. That one just came to my mind. 'Cause you put me on the
Matt
spot.
Bedeau says OJ told me personally he did it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I'm stuck with that SNL skit with.
And Jean Benet, yes, Jennifer Taft, the Jean Benet.
I won't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Rosie Hernandez is answering the question. She would want to hang out with Chuck Norris.
How about
Oh, Chuck.
this isn't really. This is like my mind's going in a different direction. The whole it still bothers me that we don't know what the heck happened to Kyron Horman. I don't know who I want to talk to get the answer to that question, but I want to find out, first of all, who has the answer to where the heck that kid is or where he wound up, and that's the person I want to talk to because that still bothers me.
All right,
too.
you guys.
Did I hear that we have 90
counting
seconds to
down.
cut in?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you guys so much. This was kind of fun. We may do this again. Appreciate it. Have a great Monday.